Welcome back to the View from the Top analysis. This week our guest is Gerald Quindlen, the Chief Executive of Logitech, one of the major companies behind Google TV. In the first segment of the interview, Mr. Quindlen argues that despite the industry's failings up to now to bring together the internet and TV, that he believes Google TV will succeed and in fact change the media landscape forever.
The key to this being the real thing in my mind is, and the reason others haven't been able to get there, is you really got to solve a couple of problems. And it's solve the complexity issue. The living room is arguably the most complex ecosystem out there, and make it easy for consumers. If you don't do that, if it's still complex, if it's not easy to use, any solution, it may gain a toehold, it will win over some customers, but it will never become a broad-based kind of mass market scalable solution. And we think that this system, this solution does that because it really easily allows you to bring the web and all of its content with broadcast, which is the ultimate in terms of entertainment content, together.
With me to discuss the interview is Paul Taylor, editor of the FT's Connected Business. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So you've been covering the convergence of internet and TV for probably, well, over a decade. Is Mr. Quindlen right? Is this the real thing?
I think it's the closest to the real thing we've got to yet. The jury is out, I guess, and we'll see. If you ask me again in a year's time, I'll tell you if he was right. But I think he is right in stressing that Logitech and Google and Sony, in fact, have pulled together all the key components which really do bring together what used to be the purvey or purview of the PC and the TV. And now we are definitely seeing, through this type of device, this type of service, the coming together of those things.
And if we do assume that Google TV is a success, this of course will probably be pretty bad news for cable companies, the cable industry as a whole indeed. But as we see in this next clip, Mr. Quindlen says that they are just going to have to adapt.
My fixation is not on who's going to lose, in all honesty. My fixation, personally, is making sure the consumer wins. If you make the consumer win, it's generally a good thing, right? And everybody else has to adapt to that. And if you don't adapt, I think it's at your own perils.
And Paul, do you think that Mr. Quindlen is just completely underplaying what could be, a dramatic impact on the cable industry?
Well, clearly it's not particularly in his interest to suggest that the cable industry might be on its last legs. But I think this does pose a real challenge. I think for as long as we've had Netflix and the other over-the-top services, the cable companies have faced a challenge. That challenge is becoming more severe each year that goes by, with higher bandwidth, with a younger consumer base that's much more ready to dump the cable service and watch just what they want a la carte from the internet. So I think he probably is underplaying it. Just how quickly this is going to play out in the sort of consumer space is very unclear.
And now, turning to Logitech's own history, they're a company that started out making basic computer hardware like mice and keyboards, but they've really seen growth through the buying of other companies as opposed to sort of internal growth. And in this final clip, Mr. Quindlen explains why they've stuck so closely to that strategy.
In terms of the make versus buy, a lot of times for us, it's speed that is the ultimate decision factor, because we say, yeah, we could do it, and we could probably do it at an affordable price, but we'd lose a lot of time because we're behind, so it's a lot faster to acquire.
Is this a sustainable model in the technology industry?
I don't think it is long-term sustainable. It is definitely a way to build a portfolio of products. It's definitely a way to build a portfolio of skills, and it may be a way to bring key people into an organization. But I think the key to whether or not it works in the long term is just how effective you are in integrating businesses that you acquire, crucially keeping the people, because a lot of these technology companies, you're not really buying the gadget of today, you're buying the gadgets of tomorrow, and those gadgets are invented by the people you bring into the company. So far, Logitech has been very, very good at retaining those people and getting the value that they paid for when they made the acquisition out of those people. It's in the execution. If they continue to execute well, then this is a strategy that conceivably they can continue for a period of time. If they begin to falter and acquired companies lose their way or the people leave after they've been acquired, then the model falls apart.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you.
So you can watch the full interview with Gerald Quindlen by clicking on the link below, and join us again next week for another View from the Top.